What's going on, everybody? It's Haas coming at you with another video, here to talk a little bit about what these subscriptions might look like for Classic. So this is something that is, pretty much just out in the air. Nobody's really talking about this on the Blizzard side, so it's not like we have much information to go off of. So I'm more just going to talk about what the ideal situation would be for both parties. I'm not just going to be like, oh yeah, we should make Classic free. At the end of the day, Blizzard is a business and we got to treat them like a business. So looking at this is, my best speculation of what Blizzard should do as a business to make Vanilla WoW both profitable and, have some sort of longevity to it while not hurting their franchise that they're currently working on as we speak. So if you would have heard of my last video, and if you haven't checked out my last video, go ahead and check it out. It's a lot of speculation, but we talk a little bit about the release date for WoW. Typically, Blizzard's not going to want to pit two flagships against each other. Now, I know that's kind of bolstering up Vanilla, but I do see Vanilla as a flagship once it comes out. I think there's going to be enough people that goes to it that it can be considered a flagship in the eyes of Blizzard. So most likely they're not going to have them to compete. Now, at that level, that's fine if they're not competing on, say, release dates. But what if they're competing on a subscription? So if we have one subscription for Vanilla and one subscription for regular WoW, that is bad in multiple different ways, because I know myself, I'll probably just subscribe to Vanilla, and I know a lot of people will probably just subscribe to the current content of stuff. So you're not going to get enough people that are going to subscribe to both, and you could potentially kill one of your flagships for that, because some people really only have the money to subscribe to one, or they don't want to bother subscribing to the other one if they have the other one that's just as good, if not better in their eyes. So there would be a lot of people like that. Ideally, what Blizzard should do in this situation is make the subscription more of a dual subscription, so it would be included in the WoW subscription. Now, of course, they can do something like you have to buy the most recent expansion to be able to play on the vanilla servers. That way, at least they're still pushing sales on their flagship, and it's more of a complimentary service. Now, I don't know if the subscription should really go up in any way. I don't believe that. I still believe that vanilla should just be, on its own, no extra money tied to it. But if they have to, add $1 to our subscription, if you justify that makes servers, run a little bit better. But what I think that would be bad of them to do is make something like a $9 subscription, or God forbid another $14 subscription for vanilla, and then having another subscription for the actual live game, because I think that's just going to hurt both players, and there's just going to be a huge divide for the people that just want to play vanilla and the people that just want to play live. I know that if I personally was subscribing to both of them at the same time through one subscription, then I'm more likely to log on to Legion and go do some world quests or something. Obviously, we're talking about, in the future, so BFA, Battle for Azeroth, we'll most likely see that in the future. So it's, it's a weird balance that Blizzard definitely has to make, so I sympathize with that wholeheartedly. Now, okay, so we've covered that. We know that split subscriptions would not work for Blizzard. That's completely off the table on their end. I'm not working for Blizzard. I don't actually know this, but I would fully assume split decision or split subscription, complete no-go. Most likely another scenario that they could do, still, kind of piggybacking onto the original subscription, having your subscription. If you're not going to require the expansion to be bought, then they might ask you to up payment. So maybe there's a checkbox in your renewal form where you checkbox classic servers, allowing you access to classic servers. Maybe it costs you about $1.99 or $1.99 for everyone else. Sorry, I'm Canadian and I say buck because we traded in deer skins once in a while. Anyway, yeah, so I could see it being about $1.99 American to add on vanilla, but with that, they shouldn't require you to have the current expansion. The only reason I said the other tag is perfect, if we just have the expansion as the thing that's needed, then it pretty much generates their initial revenue and makes people buy their expansions anyway. It just helps out their flagship and doesn't separate the entities. You can still do it this way. You're going to see lower margins, I believe, still doing it this way, because you'll probably have less people buying your expansions. And if you think about it, with tagging it onto the needing the current expansion, it's most likely going to generate way more revenue for people that weren't planning on buying the expansion anyway, because they just want to play vanilla. So that's also probably option number 2, but less ideal option, especially for Blizzard. They want to make sure to push their main game as much as vanilla. All in all, I think the best scenario for Blizzard to really take here is the first suggestion, which is having the subscription. I personally don't feel that the subscription should change at all. But you know what? I would be okay with a $1 increase to maintain servers if that was the case, like I said before. And then make it required that I have to buy the latest expansion to participate in the vanilla servers. But as you guys have heard in my last video, and if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it. I really want to see them bring in some sort of competitiveness to the vanilla servers, some sort of like race. Everyone knows what's going on. There's no new boss mechanics. Everyone knows the 4 horsemen. You know what I mean? Everyone already knows these fights going into it. So we're gonna excel way far beyond the levels of Nihilum back in vanilla days. We're gonna go way past that. So I feel like we need a kind of a competitive tracker here. We need, I would love them to, have some sort of like announcements on the website when somebody hits world first 60. I'm not saying give them an in-game achievement because that's new WoW, but I would love to see names posted on the website. I'd love to see some sort of like leaderboard to kind of show like this person was first 60. Not only that, when a guild downs a boss for the first time, so say Cthulhu, Big Bad Cthulhu is down for the first time, then I feel like on the website it should say Cthulhu was down by these people, congratulations, yada yada. I feel like it should be a really big celebration amongst the WoW community. I would also love to see some sort of server-wide announcement, or across all servers, whichever, it doesn't matter, for those great achievements from the community. I would really like to see that. I think that enhances the social community. I'm not calling for big changes or anything. I'm just calling for some sort of notification when somebody does something incredible in the new game. But even once we're past the server first, even once we're past those points, we're still going to have people that will want to achieve more and do it faster, maybe speed runs. And if the servers turn into the oscillating servers that I said in the last video, where vanilla eventually goes to BC, then goes Wrath of the Lich King, and then resets back to vanilla, if we're going back to that, I'd love to see leaderboards and like guilds that are trying to get down the content faster, maybe, or with less deaths, kind of like the impossible or the invincible achievement. I'm not saying achievements. I'm just saying, some sort of website leaderboards. Very similar to how Diablo 2 worked back in the days, not so much how Diablo 3 works. Something along those lines to recognize guilds that are actually pushing through vanilla content. Because like I said, it's not going to be anything new, but it is going to be exciting seeing people try to push the content to the new limits. You can definitely expect that I'm going to be in vanilla day one. I'm going to be grinding with everybody else. I've been part of a lot of Blizzard launches, and I know how Blizzard launches go. I can only imagine that vanilla, once it comes out, I know a lot of people are saying that, oh, the hype's going to die down, There's no way. The hype train is chewing, and as long as they don't send, WoW 3 years down the road, some people even think longer, then we should be fine. So keep this hype train going. But I'm going to be right there with everybody, and I'm going to be enjoying the shit out of it. I'm going to take 3 weeks vacation out of work, and I'm going to slam the ever-living shit out of vanilla World of Warcraft, and it's going to be amazing. Typically with Blizzard launches, they're a little bit shaky at times. Sometimes everyone's not going to be able to log on. That is very evident for the Diablo 3 launch. I was one of the first and early people to actually get on, and after I got on, nobody else could get on. I think it was me and a few others, and I was watching Crip and a bunch of other big streamers at the time trying to get on, and they couldn't. I can only imagine it's going to be somewhat as big for vanilla. In my experience, though, with seeing some other servers and how they've taken with the rise and the peak of vanilla, Vanilla broke off really quick. Interest really dropped really quick. But, you know, Blizzard, take this to, you know, brand loyalty. We want to be playing your game. We want to be playing your game on your platform, sponsored by you, ran by you, and we pay you. That's what we want. We don't want other servers. We don't want all these other things. That's why interest dies down, because at the end of the day, if you are playing on any of those other servers, all your stuff's going away anyway. So what's the point, right? So, and I feel like that's what a lot of people in those server communities feel like. Like, what's the point at the end of the day? Anyway, that's all I have. If you have a different idea for what subscriptions maybe Blizzard should kind of play with, or what you think would be the best subscription, go ahead and post a comment below. Anyway, like and comment to the video and subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys all have a good day. Peace out.